EA Sports. As we head towards kickoff, two quarterbacks will be on the field today trying to push their team to victory. It's Carr's Raiders going up against Palmer's Cardinals. And with that, it's off to the Valley of the Sun, Phoenix, Arizona, where we'll hand it over to our broadcasting team of Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Thank you, Larry. It hosted Super Bowls 42 and 49. And it's University of Phoenix Stadium. That's where we're at in Glendale, Arizona. Coming up, we've got what should prove to be a good one between the Oakland Raiders and the Arizona Cardinals. They come out here in the eye. Now a first carry for Latavius Murray. And he'll go down right at the 30-yard line. Murray had the 1,000-yard season in 2015. Followed that up with 788 last year. Now also in the mix in Oakland, you had Washington, you had Richard. How do you see this backfield playing out going forward?
I think you'll see a similar combination going forward. I think that's one of the reasons that he dropped from a 1,000-yard runner to 788, because they had other options. They're able to bring in Washington, Richard. They can use different plays for those guys, a lot of versatility, and really upgrade their offense with an infusion of speed. But Latavius Murray, I think he'll still continue to be the lead guy out of that trio.
He's just going to dump this one off to his fullback out of the backfield. A gain of 4 on the play, and that is going to set up a 3rd and 1. Offensive starters now. Charles, what about Latavius Murray?
You know how you and I talk about players under the radar sometimes? Latavius Murray definitely qualifies as one of those players. And then you look up, and he's pressing 1,000 yards every year.
Just play number 3 here on the opening drive, and it's an early 3rd and 1. They'll run here. It's Murray. Murray fighting, lost the football. And they take possession of the football and have it at the 36-yard line. And without a doubt, not the way they pictured that opening drive unfolding.
No, they were making progress. They weren't exactly in high gear, but they were making a few yards along the way. And now that they've coughed it up, you got to go back to the sidelines and regroup a little bit.
Really nice starting field position here for the offensive unit. The first carry now. This is Johnson. And nothing doing on his first run. Back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. The All-Pro in 2 positions. Khalil Mack there to make the stop. Let's look at this offense now, and let's talk about John Brown.
An exciting young talent from Pittsburgh State, home of the Gorillas. Hard to cover, great moves in short areas.
On second down, here's Palmer. Underneath for Johnson. And he's going to be out of bounds down inside the 20. And give him 17 yards that time as that'll move the chains.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
The first down carry here for Johnson. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8.
Partner, I know we're supposed to be impartial and not rude, but be honest. Weren't you excited for the opportunity for David Johnson of Arizona to have 100 yards from scrimmage in each and every game this year?
Yeah, NFL record 15 straight games at the century mark. Disappointingly, though, couldn't get that clean sweep. Just 44 yards in the Cardinals' finale after he was forced to exit with a knee injury.
But how about the way he broke out in 2016? One of the stars of the future in the NFL.
They'll say no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd and goal. Quickly now, the starting 11 for the Oakland defense.
Reggie Nelson is a safety who prides himself on being a ball hawk, but at times will guess and sometimes give up the big play.
On second down, Palmer. He's got his man. It's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Arizona. Jermaine Gresham, a 7-yard touchdown grab. And the Cardinals have taken the early lead. Here's Chandler Catanzaro for the extra point. And his kick is no good. An inauspicious start here kicking-wise as this one stays a 6-0 game. Now Catanzaro after the touchdown to kick it away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. And now Oakland ready to take the field. And last time, not only the turnover, but that turned into 6 points. They got to make up for that here.
We always hear about empty possessions, but some are worse than others. You can have an empty possession, punt the ball away, get yourself set to play defense, but when you turn it over, it changes momentum, and when they take it downfield and punch it in on you, that's a bad possession all the way around.
Yeah, but you're hungry to get back out there, aren't you?
You better be, because
the ball popped in the air and intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And the return stops at the 39-yard line. Arizona getting ready to go as they take the field. And that last touchdown drive they had very balanced. How key is that balance?
It's huge, because most of the time when we talk about balance is run, pass, almost 50-50. But most of the times when you talk to offensive coaches, they say balance is we do what we want when we want to. And that means that they're ahead of the defense, keeping them on their heels.
Yeah, and this is caught inside the 5. A huge play there for Arizona. 58 yards.
Strength throwing the football downfield has never been an issue for this big guy. I still remember the first time I met him. He was playing for USC, and when I got introduced to him, I thought I was meeting their starting tight end, not their starting quarterback.
Such a presence, Carson Palmer.
Very much so. He's had it ever since he entered campus there and still has it today.
Oh, how about this call down near the goal line? And he'll get blown up behind the line of scrimmage, back at the 6. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
Let's go, let's go. Blue 95. Blue 95.
They go play action now. Palmer. And this will be incomplete. Larry Fitzgerald was the intended target. Third down here.
All defenders get tired of hearing about their lack of hands and why they're playing defense instead of offense. But in this situation, it was the hands that made the play. Batting the ball away on an attempted touchdown pass. Excellent job. Way to knock it down.
On third and goal, Palmer. That's going to be caught at the 10-yard line. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Arizona. David Johnson from 6 yards away. And the Cardinals will extend their lead. And he atones for his miss the first time around as this one is up and good to extend their lead. Now Catanzaro after the touchdown to kick it away. This is taken just shy of the 10 here. And he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line. The Raiders offense now, they trot back out. And last time wasn't pretty. One play and an interception. We'll see if they can do better.
I want to see if they want to go ahead and throw the ball again now on this drive after what happened on the last one. Throw it on the first play. Give the quarterback some confidence.
See what happens. They begin the drive with a run by Murray. So he got free of one tackle but couldn't do a whole lot else. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8. Now this past year, Arizona finished 7-8-1. Here are the defensive starters for the Cardinals. What do you make of this football team defensively heading into next year, Charles?
Well, they're an aggressive group, and they didn't generate the same number of takeaways that they normally do. But I think that coming back in 2017, a great core of players, and they'll get Tyrann Mathieu back. And if they get him back at his 2015 level, look out, because Patrick Peterson will be best corners in the game as well. Really nice play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball, but for the guys on the offensive line, they're doing a nice job of trying to protect their passer. But when a guy hops in the air and goes airborne to try and knock one away, it's difficult because you can't reach out and grab him. That'll be a holding penalty. So all you're trying to do is make some type of a play on him, make some type of contact to try and get his arms out of the sky.
The 13 yards that time of the first.
I don't care how many times we see it. I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. First down.
And they build that trust, and that's why they're able to find him in this type of a situation. You know what the key to a good screen pass is, don't you?
Bet you're going to tell me. Good blocking?
Well, good blocking eventually. But first is good acting. You want to let the defenders go past you, leak out to whichever side or even in the middle where you want to set up the screen, and then you do your blocking. How about the read, though, by the defensive guys? They weren't fooled at all and actually ran with the lineman to where the play was and smothered it for a loss of yardage.
Now, Carr again. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up fourth down.
Oh, man, for him to be that wide open and drop it. Sometimes you have just too much time on your hands, right? You end up thinking way too much, and your hands get shaky.
And yes, he's a tight end, but that's a catch he should have made. So on fourth down, here's Marquette King to punt it away. He gets us away. It's a good one, drawing toward the sidelines. And this punt sails over the sideline. And the spot, it looks to be right at the 25-yard line. The Cardinal offense now making their way back out onto the field. And they will simply, Charles, be looking to duplicate what they did last drive when they were able to push it in for 6.
And they hope it'll be that easy, right? To be able to take exactly what happened before, replicate it. They may have to make a few additional changes along the way because I'm sure the defense will make some adjustments, but they've got to have great confidence having scored the last time out.
And he'll wind up with about 6, up past the 30 to the 31.
First play of the drive, let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking, but the guy carrying the ball, he was the finisher. A really nice run.
They'll run it with Johnson. 5 yards is the pickup there as that extends this drive.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football. In that situation, that's almost a tendency breaker.
They'll come out in the pistol. Johnson on the counter. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down. So nothing there. I don't know that that's all in the back, though. You got to look at blocking there, don't you?
I would agree with that totally. At some point, they have to win at the point of attack. Instead, it was the defense getting it done again and holding them to no gain.
Offense looking to avoid a 3rd and long. It's 2nd and 10.
Let's go.
Play action. Now Palmer. And he can't get away from the pressure. Palmer sacked. Khalil Mack in there to sack him for a loss of 6.
Partner, I know the ball security's preached like crazy, but every now and then you've got to know when to get rid of the football and save a little bit of yardage if you're a quarterback.
Because now if you're the offensive coordinator, what does it do if it was 3rd and 10 versus 3rd and much longer as it is now?
Yeah, it changes everything in terms of play calling and the pressure you might expect to face on the very next down. Had to throw the ball away and save the yardage. He didn't get it done.
Off the play fake. Here's Palmer. He's got time. Palmer's hit. Fumble. He loses the football.
And a little bit of good fortune there. He wasn't able to get it back, but he did have a teammate on the spot able to retain possession for them.
Here comes the Cardinals punter now, as he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon. Taken in at the 22. Officially, that'll go as a 52-yard punt. Not too shabby. And the offense will come back onto the field for the 1st and 10. Throwing on 1st down is Carr. And the pressure will bring him down here. The Cardinals get home for the sack. They bring a man off the corner that time, and he gets home for a loss of 6. On 2nd down, here's Carr trying to lay one up deep. And is this intercepted? It is. It's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And his guys are going to take over at the 39-yard line. Arizona getting ready to go as they take the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of 1st downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. Eluding the pressure right. And he slides to avoid the hit. It'll go as a gain of 10 there. And it's good enough for an Arizona 1st.
Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. After about the 3rd one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids the hit for good measure.
They come out here in the eye. They stay on the ground. This time it's Johnson. And he is going to lose yardage here. 2 minutes remain here in the 1st half. More from the desert after this. Palmer to throw on 2nd down. It's brought in complete. It's John Brown. They give him 14 yards that time and a fresh set of downs.
I know we just saw a nice throwing catch, but how about the big guys up front buying that time? Yeah, that's exactly what they did. They created time and allowed the space to happen, and it turned into a really nice play.
They go play action here on 1st down. Steps away. And this is taken in at the 5. And he'll take this one in for the Arizona touchdown. Larry Fitzgerald, 38 yards. And the Cardinals now adding on to their lead. He missed one earlier, remember, but this time he gets it to go. Now Catanzaro after the touchdown to kick it away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And the decision to come out is going to cost him 5 yards with a new rule as he's taken down right at the 20-yard line. And now Oakland ready to take the field. And following the interception, we'll see what they can put together on this drive.
I can hear my old college coach right now. He always used to tell us before every game, the team making the fewest mistakes will win. What they're hoping is that last mistake is their only one of the game.
Coaches, that's all they talk about, turnovers, right?
Minimizing those and maximizing opportunities.
Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. CD, wanted to get your thoughts just on the landscape of the offseason for each of these teams. Super Bowl in the rearview mirror, but so much going on. People look at the draft a lot. But there's a lot more that goes into the offseason for these front offices, is there not?
It certainly is, and then even before we get to the draft, you start with the Combine. You know, that's held in Indianapolis every year, and you have about 350 of the top prospects coming together to get their physicals and interviews and on-field performance, and all that will get evaluated along with their game tape. And then you got the free agents, all right? That starts, I believe, in early March, where now the free agents can start moving around to different teams, so your team's starting to take a little bit of shape there, free agency, because then the draft's coming up. You're trying to put your team together with new draft picks, have everyone start to move in one direction, and then you have the OTAs and minicamps. You get to see them on the field for the first time, and we start to get a better idea of how these teams are going to look when the fall begins.
Throwing his car on third down. And for the third time here in this half, it's intercepted. It's the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu. And they're going to set up shop at the 27-yard line. Arizona getting ready to go as they take the field. And they were able to punch it in the end zone last time. They'll be looking to do that again here for the defense. Obviously, they'll be looking to stop them from punching it back in the end zone.
It always is punch-counter punch, isn't it? And which team has...
Blitz coming, and down he goes. They bring the safety on the blitz, and he busts through to drop him for an 8-yard loss. They're going to hurry back to the line now.
Let's go, let's go. 1-18. 1-18.
Play action. It's Palmer. And that one got tipped, kind of threw everything off. It brings up third.
So much of this game is about leverage. We always talk about low man wins in the trenches. Well, it's like that in just about every position. And sometimes, if you lose that leverage and you're losing the battle, just jump up at the line of scrimmage and try and bat the ball away. And that's exactly what happened there.
Get ready. Blue 95.
Now Palmer on third and long. Underneath for Johnson. Touchdown, Cardinals. David Johnson with his second touchdown here in this first half. And the Cardinals will extend their lead.
I heard a coach talk about those late-in-the-half scores, especially ones that give your team a pretty decent cushion. He said those could be the ones that could finish off a squad if you let them.
Yeah, they've got the cushion. This half has been theirs. And his kick is good. Now Catanzaro after the touchdown to kick it away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. The Raider offense now making their way toward the huddle. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here.
And hauled in here by Rivera. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
Obviously, this has not been a banner game throwing the football. So what you got to do, you got to kind of down focus, don't you think? Find the tight end, take some easier completions.
The interception last drive. There he hits the reliable target. And for that man, Crabtree just finished his 8th NFL season. Of course, the first 6 in San Fran, last 2 with the Raiders. Barely topped the 1,000-yard mark, but he did 1,003 this season.
It's been interesting to watch the career arc of Michael Crabtree, because you remember when he came out of college, came out of Texas Tech, he was seen as a pure #1 receiver. Many thought he was going to be a future All-Pro. But he settled in as the #2 guy in Oakland, and I think that's been great for him. Taking the pressure off of Amari Cooper and making plays himself.
And how about this one now? In their own territory, a gutsy call. They're going to go for this on 4th and a yard. They do go for it. It's Carr. And this is caught. Amari Cooper. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. They come up in an empty set. 4 wide receivers, 1 tight end. To throw his Carr, surveying the field. Over the middle, Cooper with it. And he'll be taken down across the 50 at the 45 in enemy territory. And unless this is a quick incompletion, this is likely the last play here of this first half. The final shot here before half for Carr. Looking deep in the direction of Cooper. And this one is incomplete. So we've hit intermission. It's halftime. This is the NFL, and it's a presentation of EA Sports. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. So here's the Cardinals offense now as they get set to start this 3rd quarter. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. So now 11 yards to go for this offensive unit. It's 2nd down. Now Palmer to throw on 2nd down. And Gresham has it left side. And they'll get 9 there as that sets them up better for 3rd down.
When you execute a drag or a crossing route really well and give them a chance to let it develop a little bit, you can gain some significant yardage hitting your tight end on that one.
And it's a short one here, complete to the tight end. A really nice pickup of 14 yards, and it moves the sticks.
And Brandon, from our time in college football, where receivers weren't running the traditional NFL route tree, one thing they did learn, find open areas, find soft spots, and set up and catch the ball. And I think we just saw that there.
Yeah, we saw that indeed, picking up the first. He's going to flip that out to the flat. It's complete. Call it a pickup of 7, and that'll make it a 2nd down.
I'm going to show my age here a little bit. We used to talk about running backs catching the ball as safety valves. Nowadays, they're a big part of the passing offense.
Quit acting like you're so old. You're only 65. They'll wind up losing 3, and now it's 3rd down.
And when you're trying to set up a counter play, that's what a lot of people call an influence play. You're really hoping those defensive linemen are really agile that day. If they stayed out late the night before the game and they're not moving as fast, it's a lousy call, because that means they're just going to sit in the hole that you hope to create just by the movement of your offensive line.
And there they got the ball to the outer third of the field, but tackled behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, things get stacked up in there. If they don't move as well as you want them to, they're probably just trying to escape and couldn't get away. So what's the old expression that quarterbacks like to use when they decide to throw the football? I'm looking for either a touchdown or a check down. And he took the check down on that play, and it worked almost to perfection.
Andre Ellington, his first carry. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
Well, it's been the air game that's taken them down on this drive before they finally turned around and handed it off on the last play.
And now they're looking for the big boys to get him in the end zone. Couldn't do it there.
It'll be interesting to see. Offensive lines had to pass block a lot on this drive. Will they be able to revert and fire out and create some space in the run game?
And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Arizona. Jerron Brown from 10 yards out. And the Cardinals add on.
I think if you pulled defensive backs, they would say the corner route, take that out, make it illegal, because that is so hard to recognize and so hard to adjust, because your first move is to not get beat in the middle of the field. And that's how they move you first before they break off to the corner.
But then as the wide receiver, great job. It's tough to turn those upfield and go, but he did a great job with it there.
Really good balance, really good body control. And how about the end result? A touchdown.
A look at the offense now here, coming back out on the road for their first possession of the second half. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half two.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology.
And all the way in. Touchdown, Oakland. Latavius Murray, 75 yards. And the Raiders get a score closer. And with his speed, if he just finds the slightest crease, he can take it the distance like he did there.
How about the leverage up front? Offensive line out-leveraging the defensive front to create that space, that crease that he was looking for. And once he hits open field, he's going to be very difficult to catch and corral.
Now Janikowski following the score. He'll boot this one away. Big mistake here by the kicker, kicking it out of bounds.
The one that drives coaches crazy. Keep it in the field of play and let your guys cover.
Let's go.
Now a play fake here on first down. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Khalil Mack in there to bring him down for a loss of 7.
Sometimes I watch games and wonder why they use play fakes on certain passing situations, because it's not going to fool anyone. I don't know if that was the case here, but the end result was the same. No one fooled. Quarterback was hit.
Caught right side, Gresham. And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to third down.
And coaches always harp on the quarterback reading the defense and getting it to the open man. That's good recognition there. And how about what he did after the catch?
Yeah, hit your tight end. Let him get some rack.
Yeah, but when he gets moving, not many guys want to come over and put a hit on him, do they?
Let's go. Wide, 18.
On third down, Palmer. This one complete to Gresham. The completion there winds up a wash, and it'll bring up fourth down. So they're going to come to the line here, and it appears try to go for it on fourth.
Let's go. Wide, 18. Sally 19. Sally 19. Get ready. Zebra. Regular. Let's go. Zebra.
Double up. Keep coming, double up.
All right, now. Regular.
No. Off.
Zebra.
Check 25.
Zebra.
They'll indeed go for it. Palmer. Oh, ball batted in the air, and now it's intercepted. Picked off by Khalil Mack. And his guys will take over at the 30-yard line. And now Oakland ready to take the field. And they hit the home run last drive. One play on the ground all the way to the house. Now the defense, maybe they're expecting a run here.
Partner, I love your description, because when we talk about hitting the home run, we're usually thinking about a passing play, aren't we? Something in the air, deep ball. But how about them just taking it big-time jaunt? Now if you're coming back out, now they've established this run game, the play-action pass could very well be open.
Murray the lone setback. Now Carr. And he is going to be taken down. And that should be the final play of this third quarter. Welcome back to the desert. We're in Glendale. A lot of happy faces in the crowd at this point as their guys have a big lead here to start quarter number 4. They come up in an empty set. 4 wide receivers, 1 tight end. On 3rd and long, it's Carr. He's got time in the pocket. He'll rifle this one, and that's caught inside the 30. And all the way in. Touchdown, Oakland. Michael Crabtree, 83 yards. And the Raiders make some inroads here on that deficit. And correct me if I'm wrong, that was just a simple fly route, wasn't it?
No, there's nothing to correct at all. You've got it down pat. And I just remember as a player, when I'd be in practice sessions, and I'd hear 9 from the receivers, that meant fly route, go, look out. That was the 9, and he just kept going all the way into the end zone for the touchdown.
And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. Arizona getting ready to go as they take the field. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack him here. He's brought down that time by a couple of Raiders. The 4th quarter here, they've got the lead. They want to keep it on the ground. That's what they're doing.
Smart football. Keep the clock grinding. Keep it going. But you got to figure now, they're going to see more people stacked up at the line of scrimmage as they try and bleed it out.
Hey, here we go.
On 2nd down, Palmer. It's caught left side by John Brown. 20, 10, touchdown, Cardinals. John Brown, 72 yards. And the Cardinals now adding on to their lead. They were still throwing with a comfortable lead here late, and now that lead even more comfortable.
And your first thought is it bad blood that went into this one ahead of time, that maybe they're seeking some revenge or they just don't like them? But the other thing that always hits me is, are they worried about playoff positioning? Right? Are they worried about, do you need enough points in case there's a tiebreaker that comes into play later?
This is fielded a couple yards deep. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. Now the Oakland offense heading back onto the field to take over. Last time they were out, they scored. Still trailing here, though, so some work to do.
But it's okay in terms of mindset. Because they scored the last time, they're not quite as worried about being down on the scoreboard because now their confidence is a little bit higher. They feel like they've got something going, and they feel like they can attack again and put more points on the board.
Are you scoreboard watching if you're the offense, or are you just focused on this drive?
We wouldn't be telling the truth if we said that they didn't scoreboard watch. Everyone does it to some extent, but you've got to set it aside right now and just focus on this series. That'll take care of the scoreboard if they punch it into the end zone. After that incompletion, I almost get the sense that he's going to look up at the booth and kind of look at us and say, hey, you guys got any suggestions? It's been that kind of game, hasn't it? They've had him on the run throughout.
Yeah, and I get that you're trying to make a play here, losing 4th quarter, but to throw when you're not set with pressure coming could have been an interception.
Very much so, and it's been that kind of game for him. They've had him on the run, had him off balance. He's got to find a way to make some big time.
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by the linebacker, Kevin Minter.